Okay, let's.
Okay, so for those of us that didn't get to join, this is the founders meeting for Wednesday, December 6th. We're going over the rotator and we're going over a simplified way that the rotator works. I'm going to start over real quick and try not to waste too much time. But this spreadsheet before us is the way that the rotator would work. It's assuming that there are 10 positions, so 10 qualified members. So 10 rounds of the rotator are going to run when payments are being made. So in our number of payments that came in, we've got the date and time. This is assuming that the time between the first payment and the time between the second payment that qualifies you for the rotator. 5 payments have come in, 8 payments have come in, 6 payments have come in, 4 have come in. And then this shows the available funds. For every one payment, $6 is available. When you join the rotator, when you qualify first, you'll receive $2 in funds right away. That puts you into the rotation pool. So the first person received $2 and they had $4 left over for the you're only going to receive funds once on any run. So anybody who receives, so in position number one, he received $2 of the funds and $4 goes into the pool for the next round. So in the next round, in round two, it distributed 18 to position one and 16 to position two for a total of 34. Now in cycle one and cycle two, that's the only time that it's weird because there's a little bit of funds left over before it goes all the way through the first cycle. So that the only reason why the funds of 6 don't match round one is because 2 of them went into round two. So in round 3, my calculation is wrong here, so I'll have to fix that. But in round 3, we're showing that $48 is made available. So what should have happened here is there should have been some more. I'm going to have to fix this. So I'm sorry. Now that I'm looking at this, I screwed that one up. But this is just a representation. This is not what happened. This is a representation of how the rotator works. So the available funds go into the round of the cycle that we're going through. So 36 here, 24 here, 12 there. You can see how it distributes the funds only what's available in that round. So every time it cycles through the rotator, it puts the funds into the next position. In places where 100 payments have come in since the last person qualified, that's that's $600 worth of funds that go through the rotator at 2 a time. So our rotator had $276 in funds come in, and it issued 270 at the end, but that's because I messed up the 48 there on round 3. But this is the simplified way that the rotator works, and I wanted to make sure that everyone knows that. So members that joined the rotator pool in the last moments of the qualification period, they're only going to receive about $2 in, well, they're going to receive exactly $2 because only $2 was allocated to you. So if you joined 5 seconds before the rotator cycled into the next day, you're only going to receive $2 in funds. The members that joined into the pool early are going to receive the larger amounts of funds. Now, the way that the cycle is starting, it's starting all over again. So from the very beginning, it's going to level out as we rotate through the month of December. So look for that. That's going to be we only had 10 days of a run through the system. One of our members was close to $800 in funds. The second member was at $500 in funds. So you can see that these distributions can be quite high and can be quite, beneficial as the system progresses. So one thing that I've noticed when we started the program, a lot of members jumped in, got themselves qualified. That was great. Well, the program's starting again. So we need the members that are not yet qualified for the rotator to start jumping in so that we can get this rotator completely filled out And the benefit will be that once you receive 1,020 in USD funds, then at the top of the sheet, when position number one has 1020, the next time it comes around, it skips that person and goes to the next person until they have 1020. And then it skips them and goes to the next person until they have 1020. And it'll just keep rotating through. So the system does level itself out as it runs through. And I just wanted to give that little bit of showing of how that works. So I'm going to go back to the KCBO. In your KCBO, one thing that we've been having trouble with, and I apologize, it says here that you're shared bounty qualified at the top on the little ticker on across the top. That is a process that runs through and just checks to see if you're validated. That doesn't mean if you don't see that, if you know you've completed the requirements, you get into the pool at the time that you got into the pool. When this program comes and checks to see if you're verified, sometimes that doesn't go through the entire cycle, and then it misses the people at the end. So we're working on fixing that, but all of the members that qualified, we have all the data. We kept track of all the data as it came in. So all the members that qualified, there's 695 members total. They qualified for Share Bounty, and that is going to be distributed today. Now, we're not going to make it so that you can collect that bounty. We're actually going to just send it to you. So it'll be an automated payout. It's going to come from the same wallet that the bounty usually comes from. This time we're going to make it an automated payout because I wanted to check the numbers. I wanted to make sure that this was doing what I expected it to do, and that the distribution was getting out there. So everyone who qualifies should receive some bounty. And that is what the system did. That's exactly what I expected to. I'm not going to make any changes to it. We're going to use it running forward. And for our January collection on January 6th, I'm going to look at seeing whether or not we want to still do it automated, or whether or not we want to make it so that a member can collect. I think automated is probably the easiest way to go about it. That way nobody has to worry. They're just going to get it on the 6th, and they don't have to worry about losing it. They don't have to worry about coming in to collect it. It'll just go when the time hits. So the reason why the payout hasn't happened yet is because, again, when the system ended on December 5th at midnight, so about 16 hours ago or so, that system needed to do the calculations for all the bounties. So what came into the pool need to then be distributed and then need to be calculated. So it is not an easy process for the system to go through it. It's taking into consideration every payment that came in. It's taking into consideration the member's qualification time and date stamp. So a lot of calculations have to happen, and I wanted to double check everything because this is a big program and I want it to be beneficial for all. And as I said, after going through it and looking at it, it didn't exactly do what I thought it was going to do, but the way that it did it was exactly what I expected. So the end result was what I was hoping for. The way that it ran was different than I expected, but it still worked out the way that I wanted it to. So there has been some questions about how members are going to collect this bounty. Now, as I said, I'm going to automate the bounty payout for this shared bounty collection system this time. Now, how do you collect on your bounty? Most people know this, but some don't. And apparently, we've had some issues where members are not aware of that. Under account and under bounty, you need to register your bounty address here. This is the address that you're going to receive your bounty on. As a sponsor, you're already receiving bounty via this address. This doesn't have anything to do with your verified wallet. Your verified wallet is for incoming payments, and the verification system is currently being looked at. I know that there's some issues with it. That is not part of the bounty system. So you don't need to worry about the verification system. It's a part of the payment system. So when you're making your payment, you have to verify your wallet, and that is done through the verify your wallet system right here. So this verification, you've got the opportunity to put in 5 registered wallets. And that's 5 wallets that your payment can come from. The verification system is made so that it verifies the payment coming from you to us so that someone can't steal it. They can't steal your hash because we know that the payment is coming from you. As a sponsor, you can validate up to 5 wallets. As a member, you can validate up to 5 wallets. And as long as a payment comes from any one of those 5 wallets for your agent deposits, for your agent donations, for your KCBO payment fee, that will go, that'll get properly registered to you when you are making a payment. But your bounty wallet, again, is under bounty, and that's always been the case. So if you have not registered your bounty wallet, you're going to need to go in and do that. So I can't pay you out in your system if you have not registered your bounty wallet. And don't worry, if you don't have a registered bounty wallet, we'll hold on to those funds until you do. But you want to make sure that you register your wallet here. And this is going to be the wallet that you receive your instant bounty on. And it's going to be the wallet that you receive your sponsor bounty on for the shared bounty rotator and for the training wheels system. So the next thing I wanted to do is I wanted to go into the training wheels program. I wanted to, we're going to come back to her. We need to talk about her. So the training wheels program is going to start from December 1st and go through January 5th. And without going into too much detail here, because I've already talked for a while, the training wheels program is for members who pay a $32 USDT payment for their KCBO, but do not yet qualify for the shared bounty program. If you have one paid referral, you're still in the training wheels program. If you have no paid referrals, you're in the training wheels program. If you've made a KCBO payment. Now we're going to allow you to remain in this program for 2 months. And that's from the start. That's from the start of you entering the training wheels program until you have 2 months after you've expired there. That's when we expect and we hope that you have learned from your sponsor how to become your own sponsor and bring in your own referrals. So in this training wheels program, it's the same rotator. It's just a smaller amount of funds that are going to be available. So in the shared bounty rotator, you have 1,020 maximum funds that you can receive. In the training wheels bounty program, it will allow you to receive up to 255 USDT. Now, again, as I explained with the previous rotator program, when you join that rotator program, it's going to put funds into your slot, but it needs to cycle around in order before you receive more funds into that slot. So incoming payments are what drives the system. Every payment that comes in, funds get allocated to both the shared bounty program and to the training wheels bounty program. Another important note that I mentioned is the training wheels bounty program that's coming out of the admin side. That's not going to come out of the any of the bounty that is being paid to the shared rotator or the $10 in instant bounty. That's actually coming out of the admin side. So that's the reason. What's one of the reasons why the training wheels program is specifically for 2 months for our members, and it's an incentive to learn how to get your to become a sponsor yourself and to become you have your own downline. So that's what this training program is meant to do. And it does address where I said that anyone who's making a KCBO payment is going to receive some sort of bounty. So if you're a sponsor that has 2 paid referrals and you paid within the payment cycle, you're going to receive the maximum bounty up to 1020 USDT. If you are a member that does not have 2 paid sponsors or 2 paid referrals, then you will be eligible to receive up to 255 USDT in the Training Wheels Rotator. So that's all I wanted to go over as far as the Training Wheels program and the Shared Bounty program. I wanted to tell you how it was running. Just as a recap, we are going to be paying out the Shared Bounty program today. I will show you on your SBC rewards page, there will be 2 new tabs. It'll tell you, or 1 new tab that'll tell you what your shared bounty was for the December cycle, and then we'll put in the January cycle and have a better page for January. The last thing that I wanted to mention before I turn this back over to Carl is one of our leaders in our community, Miss Soda, has recently passed away, and that is she's I didn't know her well. I did interact with her with support, but she's from Ivory Coast, and she was one of the member helpers. She's one of our leaders in our community, and I would like to have a moment of remembrance for Miss Soda, if we could. Okay, Dr. Carl, I'll turn it back to you.
All right. Well, I'm sorry to hear. We just pray for the family over their loss. I do recognize the lady. I believe she worked with Innocent, if I'm correct. Sorry to hear about that.
Yes, she did.
We just trust that she's in a better place to be with her Lord and Savior, and her place for her everlasting bliss in the kingdom. All right. So good call, admin. I'm getting prepared to step up, but I'm on my cell phone. Mbe, I sent you over via Messenger a script, a title to go over real quick. Will only take about less than 5 to 7 minutes. And people, listen, it's to understand how to determine when the rise of BTC is going up. It's something that I take advantage of every year, because I take the increase and I immediately leverage it and take that money and I leverage it to other ventures that's going to make an impact in that venture, such as the one we're on right now. So as you all know, maybe 2 weeks ago, BTC was at about 28,000. It is now at, I just checked it, is at $43,000, 43,900, almost $44,000. So I've made an impact as far as increase in the value of my Bitcoin. I transferred that to one of my digital wallets, and then I'm getting ready today to buy more, SBC or SBFC coins with that, when I convert it over. Now, you all can do the same thing. Convert it, have it sitting into your MetaMask, so that when it's time to do your renewals, instead of saying, I don't have any funds or I don't know anybody to recruit, use that strategy. So MB, if you don't mind, if you open up the messenger, kind of go over the indicators. I think it's a total of 6 to determine when you know the rise of Bitcoin is going to go up so that we can take advantage of it, intercept, capture that money, leverage it to other ventures. Let me know if you can see it in your messenger box, please.
Yeah, I can see them. You want me to read them?
Yeah, if you can go over that with everybody, because I'm getting ready to get mobile here in a second. Okay.
Okay. Let me go to my Facebook here. All right. So guys, the first point, let me share what we are talking about here. So yeah, so the first one is when the number of ICO increases, right, Dr. Carl?
Yes, correct. When the number of ICOs, that's when ICOs increase in value, because ICOs are exchanged and through a distribution process, when more people get involved in ICOs through the distribution, because most ICOs have a humanitarian purpose and people are getting involved, that's an indicator because it creates traffic. Anything that creates traffic, it stimulates the value, which changes the market as well. So that's why that's number 1. Go ahead to the next.
Yeah, number 2 is when you see an increase of companies adopting cryptocurrency.
All right, that's another one. I remember when I first came into crypto, there were 140 financial institutions that were involved. There was about that many. There was about 221 different cryptos from different organizations, finance companies. They're now over. I think it's 22 or 23,000 that are now on the list. It's like the Wild Wild West. So the more that they're involved, the more getting into the industry, switching over, there's going to create more traffic, which is going to stimulate the value of the market, which is going to cause it to rise and change especially when investors are coming in to participate with that thing based on what they're bringing to the coin market caps. Okay, next one.
Right. And we want to emphasize that all these points, we want to determine when BTC is expected to rise. So the next one, on Black Friday.
Okay, now that's a big one. When is Black Friday? That's the day after Thanksgiving, which we celebrate here in the United States and maybe a couple of other countries. But here in the United States, Thanksgiving, which was, what was it, last Thursday, I believe it was. That very next day was Friday. Thanksgiving usually always falls on a Thursday. That next day is Black Friday. That means a lot of people are going to the internet to purchase goods and services on Amazon, and they're exchanging cryptocurrency instead of spending US cash. Or they'll take their crypto, convert it, and buy their merchandise. That's Black Friday, because the cost of things, sometimes you can get good deals for half the price. Okay.
Right.
All right, go to the next one.
Okay, another one is on Cyber Monday.
Okay, Cyber Monday is usually right after the holiday. Right, or I believe it's New Year's, I believe it is. Right after that time, same thing. So that's when the price of things are going to decrease, and you get good deals, and people are using crypto for that, which creates traffic, which stimulates the market. Go to the next one.
Another one is during the holiday.
All right. Yeah, during the holidays, which are what we're in right now. We're all identifying it right now because, as you can see, the price of Bitcoin is increasing. So that right there kind of proves my point on factors to keep an eye on. Okay, go to the next one.
All right. So anyway, you said 2 to 3 weeks prior to Christmas. So, and the last one, when gas prices decrease.
Oh, gas prices. This is a very interesting indicator that I always use all the time that I recognize. I've always noticed that when the price of Bitcoin increases, the price of gas goes down. Even if I don't check the coin market caps, I notice that. Okay. All right. Go ahead to the next one.
I think that's the last one. And the value of gold decreases. Yeah.
So you can go to the gold app. You can go to coinapps.com/gold/grain/calculator to determine your back office fee. It actually shows what the value of gold is going to be.
Right.
And when you see that when gold and value, that's an indicator that BTC is going up. And then it's time to change your mindset. Hey man, I need to in advance. Now that it's going to spike up to get some more BTC, and when it increases,
Yeah, your volume
BTC.
slightly like you're very far.
Oh, how about now?
Not really fine.
Okay. Let me turn this up. Okay, how about now?
It's fair enough, but not the best.
Okay. All right. Well, that was the last one, the indicator. So those are indicators that I use, and it seems to always work for me on an annual basis. And that would be it for today. Hopefully, everybody wrote those down and start using those indicators, and then they'll start increasing profit.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Khan.
Welcome.
Okay, admin, over to you.
All right. Did you want to
All
go
right,
to Q&A now?
Yeah, we can go ahead and go to the Q&A. I want to keep the Q&A focused on our shared bounty program, our training wheels program. And I want to make sure that everyone knows I am aware that there is a problem with the wallet validation system right now. The developers are working on it. So anything that you're having an issue regarding that, just keep track of the Telegram group. We're making an announcement right now that we're working on it, and we will have it ready. Once it's ready, we'll let everyone know that the validation program is working. So remember, validation for your wallet is different than registration for your Bitcoin bounty or your USD bounty. Just the bounty system. It's a different system. So those of you who are struggling or rushing to get your registration in for your bounty, that's a different system. You don't need to validate that wallet. Where you tell us you want the bounty to go to is where we'll send it. But when we are validating payments coming in, we want to make sure that your payment's not stolen. So that's done through the validation system, and we're working on it. So let's go ahead and take our first Q&A.
Okay, admin, I'm sorry, but Mbe, can you take control over that? Because I'm not sure how to do that on my cell phone. To unmute the person that raised their hand. I think it was a couple of people in the beginning.
Yeah,
they
we
had
have
their hands
Gina.
raised.
Yeah.
Good day.
Good day, Gina.
Okay, admin. So a couple questions. On the training wheels program, the 255 coming in. So if people have their children, because I have a friend who has 6 children, a set of twins and 4 others. And she's wanting to come into this, and she has a lot of questions. So this is one of her questions. She has children and she signs up them under, and they don't have referrals. How does she go about receiving the money for those children? The 255.
Well, if she has referrals, she's going to be in the shared bounty program. So she's going to be already in the bigger program. The children underneath her.
Not for her, sir.
I know. I'm explaining the situation in total.
Okay.
Okay. So she qualifies for the larger system, and underneath her, the children are going to qualify for the training wheels program. Now, keep in mind that the payment needs to continue your KCBO needs to remain current in order for you to be in that program.
Yes.
The way that works is that in that specific account, they need to register a bounty address. That's all that it really needs to be. So the bounty address needs to be registered, and then the bounty gets sent to the wallet for that.
So you can use the same address that she's using for herself for her children then?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
That is something that you can do. Yeah.
Okay, that's the first question. Second one, what you're explaining about the rotator, ooh, a little confusing, but not. So
It's
you're saying like,
easier. It's easier than it looks.
I get it, but let me ask the question. See, so you're saying like, because you were saying that the first person is going to get more money than say the very last person. But then I remember you saying that the position you have is a position you're always going to have. So is that how it's going to be continually? Then that first person's always going to get more money than the last person?
No,
For
that's not the way. That's not the way it's going to be. The first person in the system is going to be the first one to 1020. The second person in the system is going to be the second one to 1020. So once that first person reaches 1020, then they no longer receive any more bounty, and then the second person gets is in the cycle. So it's kind of like I was thinking about this analogy this morning. It's
right.
kind of like filling an ice cube tray. So you start at the top ice cube and it flows over and flows over and flows over to the end. And then once that ice cube tray at position number 1 is filled, it can't be filled anymore. So once the person in position 1 reaches 1020, they don't receive any more in this cycle. The pool just keeps churning until it fills in everyone up to 1020.
But like until that point, like right now, you say one got 800, 500, and then down, 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 down. How long will it? I mean, okay, like for say January comes, is it still going to be that way?
The person in position 1 is likely to get $2 more than the person in position 2. Let's put it that way.
Oh, okay, just $2. I see what you're saying. And then, so now each month in order to qualify for these bounties you're talking about, do we have to keep making the payment for ourselves and the 2 under us every month to qualify every month, or is that just that one-time thing we did?
To enter the program, you need to make one $32 payment, and you and 2 of your downlines. That's to enter the program. What is required, however, is for your downlines to remain active and for you to remain active. So
if they're already paid up for a whole year, and then we just made that one required payment, they're not required to make any additional payments, correct?
They're not required to make any additional payments until they expire. That's correct.
Okay.
But
just
understand that anyone that is not currently, the only funds that are getting allocated to the shared bounty pool are new payments coming in. So every $32 payment that comes in going forward gets allocated. Funds get allocated to the pool. Since your shared bounty, or since your accounts are paid in advance, there's no allocations being done to that pool. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, I get what you're saying there. I understand that part because we paid in advance.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So the members that have paid in advance, they have an advantage that they don't expire, but we still need fresh payments coming in order for the rotator to move.
I understand. Yeah, it would make sense. I understand. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, that was all the questions I have. And I want to thank you very much for what you're doing. I can't even begin to imagine, all of the technical things behind it that you're doing is insurmountable, I am sure. So I just want to let you know that I am very grateful and appreciative for all you're doing. And I pray that God will continue to bless you and your family.
Thank you.
You're welcome very much.
I still wanted to make a note that this cycle of the shared bounty, like I said, it only had 695 members qualify, and that only had a 9-day run. So it's not the bounty that you're going to receive is not going to be spectacular this month through, but the bounty that is capable for the month of January, the collection in January, there's a very good possibility that a lot of our members are going to be able to hit the 1020 based on filling out those positions. So our
for next
current, our current membership is at 4791. We're less than 300 away from upping the SBFC price. So we're growing. This is very exciting. And let's continue to grow, especially through the month of January. If we can get to the 10,000 marker by the end of January, I think that we're going to see a lot of members that are going to be receiving the shared bounty of 1020. That'd be amazing.
You had mentioned problems with the verification process that people were having. So did that hinder people from being able to get into the pool this month then?
It may have.
Okay. One of them.
Yeah, the verification process, it may have hindered some members from getting in, but that's being worked on. It should be resolved here today.
Okay, awesome. All right, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Okay, so we'll go with Minka.
Hello.
Oh,
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hi. How you doing?
Great, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine, thank you. A bit saddened about our loss for the community, but thanks for that dedication. I just got like 3 points I'd like to make. The first point, or question, sorry. First question is when you make a payment, you get an immediate $10 payment into your wallet, or do you have to apply for that $10 payment?
No, the $10 is instant. So when a sponsor receives bounty from a paid downline, that $10 is instant. As soon as the payment is approved with the submitting of the hash, $10 in USDT or BUSD, whatever payment that was received gets sent back in that $10.
All right, it's an automated payment.
It is.
Okay, and all right, if there's a problem with receiving it, do we just write out a ticket?
Yes.
Okay. All right. The second one
it's also important to remember that if you need to have a registered bounty address, so new members may not know that they need to register their bounty address. So they need to do that. That if their account is not currently active, then they won't receive the instant bounty. So instant bounty can only be sent to registered wallets and for members who are active. So if an inactive member receives bounty, that they don't receive that doesn't go to them. That can be credited to them as an admin credit, but an admin credit won't do you any good other than just extending your account. So in order for us to pay out instant bounty, there needs to be an active account for the sponsor.
Okay, thanks. The second one is the downliner, when the downliner pays for their fees, what does when an upliner pays for their fees, what does the downliners get, or what do the downliners get?
Well, when a sponsor pays their fees, the bounty from the sponsor goes towards their sponsor, and $6 of that goes towards the shared bounty pool.
Yeah. So the upliner will qualify for the 1020, because he has two downliners. But would a downliner qualify for anything?
Downliner qualifies for the training wheels program if they do not have a 2 paid referrals. So the training wheels
And-
program is a downscaled version of the Bounty rotator.
Yeah. And that will last, that's in December and January, or is that January and
It's 2 months it's 2 consecutive months for any member. So the program is going to continue into March, April, May for new members that join and become a part of that program. But if you start in that program, you're only going to be able to remain in it for 2 months.
yeah.
So we're expecting that your sponsor will educate you on how to become a sponsor yourself.
Okay.
And then you get rotated into the big rotator program.
Okay. So the downliner will get a payment of $250 in December and January.
Up to
January. Up to $250 in December.
Yeah.
And in January, by the end of January, they would have upscaled to the 1020 program or payment.
Yes, we would hope that would be their motivation.
Okay, great. And there's one final question concerning the Caleb and Joy G. I know I'm going back, but this is kind of important. The Caleb and Joy G. What actually happened for the Caleb and Joy G not to work? And is it going to be repeated with SBFC?
Okay, so good question. So Caleb was originally designed to be a replacement for BTC, LTC. You know, it was basically designed to be a payment system. So admin built Caleb on the premise that he would fund it initially, and that members would go out and buy it and then sell it or give it back to the system for us to generate use of the Caleb system. So what happened with Caleb is that one of our particular members didn't utilize it properly, and admin didn't like the way that the situation was rolling out. And so then Joy G was created to replace that. Joy G was supposed to replace it in the same kind of concept, but Caleb unfortunately was a little bit more successful than Joy G in that it was more useful, and admin didn't have the resources to get the Joy G out the way that we originally wanted to, and Joy G started to have a problem. SBFC is a completely different concept altogether. We are not accepting SBFC for incoming payments. We're not using SBFC for paying out bounties. We're not using SBFC in that way. SBFC is being used specifically for our agents program and our donations program right now, and it is eventually going to be put out into the exchanges when we get the member base behind it. So when we had Caleb operational, we had thousands and thousands of members. When we had Joy G operational, we had thousands of members, but not as many as we had in Caleb. Now in SBFC, we're keeping SBFC private. So the price of SBFC is set by me and the Privy Council at $25. So that if we were to launch SBFC today, we could launch it with a successful and relatively stable price of $25. But nobody wants it at $25. We all want it to be $4,000, $44,000 like Bitcoin. We all want it to be worth more. So as our membership grows, we can decide to up the price of SBFC, and that's an internal exchange that we have with our agents. And you can buy SBFC at the price that we're setting, and we're not gonna until SBFC goes into the public exchanges. It's still going to be honored at the price that we currently have. So although we're using it for our agents to receive goodwill funds, so we're basically converting USDT into SBFC for the donors, So they're getting an investment in SBFC, but the agents are receiving SBFC that they can then turn around and use to withdraw out of our system to get goodwill funds. Now, I'll have an update on that when we're done with your questions, but I hope that that answers the thing. So SBFC and Joy G and Caleb are totally different in their concept and their execution. And SBC itself is going to be more of the main coin when we get into 2024, 2025.
Okay, so basically, am I right in thinking that SBFC is actually backed by gold, which is what is going to hold its value, as well as the size of the community?
Right now, SBFC is backed by the size of the community and the USDT that we have on deposit for it.
Okay.
That's it, and that's not a significant amount to launch, you know, in an exchange.
Yeah. So
When we
sorry. Yeah, with the size and the growth of the community, that's what's going to strengthen the value of SBFC. So when it eventually goes public, it'll be strong enough to deal with it. Okay, I'm sorry to drag this. Just one more thing. Am I right in saying that with Caleb, which started at a high price, even though there was quite a lot in the community?
Yeah. So the way that these cryptocurrencies work is you create a supply and then you decide how much that supply is worth. So in the initial Caleb funding, I don't know what admin funded it with. I wasn't privy to that, but he may have funded it with $10,000 or he may have funded it with $8,000. And that was enough to put it out into the community in small bits and chunks. And then the community had to buy into it. So as they bought into it, they increased the liquidity pool. So that's how Caleb went up in price. Joy G had a disadvantage in that it started at a very low price. So there wasn't a lot of liquidity when Joy G was launched. So Joy G was launched very, very sparingly in the hopes that members would go and buy it and increase the liquidity pool. And it did for a while. So that's why the initial price that everybody said, oh, I bought Joy G at $4,000. Well, that literally was pretty much all that Joy G was worth. So whoever, you know, if you bought $4,000 worth of Joy G, you pretty much bought everything that was out there. So that's kind of the way that the funding works.
I see. So us building SBFC, we're actually building the liquidity, which is going to strengthen. Okay, so
when we launch SBFC on the public exchanges, we're going to be able to fund it with a decent amount of USDT or whatever finances we have at the time. We're going to be able to fund it and create a larger liquidity pool than Caleb and Joy G had. It's my intention to not put it into the public until we're ready to take on that task.
Great stuff.
And that'll happen when our membership is higher and when our liquidity pool is built through our exchanges and whatnot.
Okay. Thank you very much for that clarification, Scott. Thank you, mate.
Sure.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so
all right.
You want to pick some?
What time do we got? I think we should at least do one more, and then I want to make that last announcement regarding the exchange.
All right, so go with free send. I don't know if I can pronounce this very well. Free Asante.
Yeah, it's free Asante. Asante, yeah. Yeah. Good evening, Mr. Mbe. Good evening, Mr. Scott, and thank you all for the great work. Please, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, yesterday in the evening, I paid and two of my downlines also paid. I mean, we were 6. Another friend also paid, 2 of his downlines also paid. So from what admin said, it means that since we paid late, we may probably get $2. And are we going to get some more till the end of the month, or that will be the end of it until January 5th, we pay again before we can get? That is
Yeah,
question
so
number.
yeah, so if you join the rotator program late, then $2 gets allocated to you, and then you're put into the cycle. So you're going to start earning to the January 6th payout. So you'll receive $2 for this payout, but in January you'll have a much better payout because you'll have the whole entire month that you're part of the program.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So then, meaning on January 6th, 5th, when we pay, it starts from there again. I mean, that will be the beginning of the new phase of it.
Yes. At the end of January 5th, the February cycle begins.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for that.
Sure.
What about those my downlines? Are they also going to earn something before the end of January 5th?
If they have no
The two downlines.
referrals underneath them, then they're part of the Training Wheels program. So they'll receive something on January 5th. Yes.
Okay. All right. So it's not that we will be seeing the money at our bounty. I mean, going into our wallet automatically, but at the end of the period before you pay all at a go.
Well, on the 5th of or the 6th of the month, that's when the bounty gets paid out. So today we're going to pay out the bounty cycle between the 27th of November to the 5th of December, and on January 6th we'll pay out the December 6th through January 5th cycle.
Okay. So the system is not designed in such a way that each person will be seeing how much he's getting progressively as it goes,
Not
so that
yet.
you can use it as a proof to entice those who are sitting on the fence. Are we going to see it like that?
Yeah, not yet. We're going to work on that so that we can get that operational. This particular bounty program we launched with only 10 days to get it to the point where it was ready to actually do the calculations. So bear in mind that funds are still a little tight on our side. We're just a recovering community, so our development costs are we don't have the development funds that we used to have. So we're just taking things slow and making sure that things are right. In the past, a lot of the development admin Jack had thrown a lot of money at development, and we had multiple developers that would work together, and we'd be able to get things done a lot faster. But we have a lot fewer developers now, and a lot of them are not as up to date on everything that we're working on as previous developers. So as our community grows, we'll be able to bring those developers back and get things back up to spec and get things going faster. Hopefully with a lot less overhead and a lot less confusion. But right now the development team is working on those functions, and they're also working on getting the SBC wallet ready for our launch in January. So we've got a lot of things that we're working on behind the scenes, and as soon as I can get some displays on what who's earning what in the rotators, we'll get that up there.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, with that, we're going to end the Q&A because I want to go into a real quick note about the agent exchange. So in a previous meeting, I had mentioned that we were going to launch the agent exchange on the 4th, which was 2 days ago. And unfortunately, there was something wrong with it, that it didn't work. I went to go test it yesterday, and we were in the middle of our bounty calculation situation. So I'm working on that. Just give me a couple more days for the agent exchange, We already have enough agents that we're going to authorize. Just keep in mind that agents that are going to be able to utilize the exchange are ones that have been verified by the Privy Council, or they have an active agent account. So you have to be active anyway in order to use the system. So if your agent account's not active, then you won't be able to use the exchange anyway. But verified by the Privy Council, or if you've received a donation in the last 7 days. I will keep in mind that we started it, 7 days from the 4th. So I'll keep that in mind, that anyone who's received donations within the last 2 weeks should have the ability to utilize the exchange. So if you are an agent and you are not receiving any donations, you're not going to be able to utilize the exchange. So what I would suggest that you do is go out and reach out to your donors that you are looking forward to working with, and get your donors to donate to you so that you can have funds and you can have access to the agent exchange. So the funds for that have been building. We've been saving those up. So we're going to be turning that on, and just keep in mind that it's going to be limited to 1 exchange per day. There's going to be a limited amount of times per week, and the amount that you can exchange on any daily basis is going to be set by the system, and any incoming donations feed right back into the agent exchange. So in order for the system to work, we still need to get donations into the exchange. Lastly, I thought there was one other thing I was going to say, but I guess not. All right. I guess that's it, Mbe.
It's called brain free.
Yeah. It sure is.
All right.
It'll come back to you. It'll come back to you.
Do either of you know something I forgot?
No, I think it's fine.
No. Yes,
Okay.
I covered everything.
All right, good.
Everyone just needs to read the blog continually, like you say, admin, on a daily basis.
Absolutely. The blog is the best communication tool that I have. Another thing is that I don't, I try to be as detailed as possible in my blogs. So if you don't understand something, or if you're missing something, definitely ask on Telegram. If it's something that I'm clear on, then I'll refer you to where I was clear on it. But if it's something that really is kind of cloudy, then I'll go back and I'll revise that blog. I haven't come across too many of those yet, but just make sure, I don't speculate, and I don't do a lot of fantasy when it comes to the blog itself. So if I say something in the blog, that's pretty much the way that it goes, and I'm trying to make sure that I honor the things that I've said. And usually the blogs come straight from my brain and from my heart. So I know that the things that I put in there are as detailed as I could possibly make them. But if there is things that are missing from the blog, you're welcome to ask questions in the chat group on Telegram, and if it's something that I need to revise, I'll go back and revise it.
Awesome.
All right.
All right. So what's the take-home message, admin?
The take-home message, I really want to remember our member helper and our leader, Miss Soda. I think that her contribution to TVC and SBC in this community has been overwhelmingly positive and guiding light for our community, and it's sad to see her go. So let's remember Miss Soda.
All right. I think everyone should unmute. Let's all say we should remember Miss Soda.
Let's remember Minnesota.
We shall remember us dollar.
Remember Miss Soda.
We shall remember Miss Sola.
Remember her. May yes,
Remember Miss Soda.
Remember Bonnie.
Peace.